Dear valued guests, for the last 2 years, Israeli occupation, invasion, we are increasingly confronting the policies of destruction and massacre. With the unconditional support of Western powers, Israel is trying to destabilize our region. Continues. First they attacked Gaza and the West Bank. In front of the eyes of the whole world, they attacked Gaza with a gigantic. They wrecked it. Health facilities, schools, mosques, and churches. They bombed only to buy a sack of flour, to buy a bowl of soup, to buy a bowl of soup, to buy a dry bread, people waiting in line for help, slaughtered every day, most children and women, hundreds of innocent civilians, intentionally by Israeli forces, martyred. Our 2 million brothers and sisters in Gaza, Nazis, exactly 21 months in poor conditions that surpass even the Tamerkus camps, struggling to survive. Along with Gaza, Israel is trying to destroy Lebanon. He also targeted Yemen and Syria. In addition to aerial bombardments, by inciting various groups in Syria against the administration. He tried to stir up turmoil there too. And now Israel's state terror. Since June 13th, our neighbor Iran has been the interlocutor. I would like to say this once and for all. With all these attacks, the Netanyahu government is once again the biggest obstacle to regional peace. He proved Israel's attacks on Iran in the strongest way. Telling is my country for our Iranian brothers and sisters who died in Israel's terrorist attacks, bombings and assassinations. And on behalf of my nation, I offer my condolences. With thousands of years of history, solidarity in the face of adversity and strong state experience, the Iranian people, inshallah, we have no doubt that you will overcome these days as well. I think it is also useful to know the following fact. Israel's attacks on Gaza, Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, and most recently Iran, description and recipes, banditry, Iran's the measures taken by Israel to defend its people in self-defense in the face of this state terrorism are quite natural, legitimate, legal. Brothers and sisters, this is now, day by day, it is emerging. These reprehensible acts in violation of international law, Israel's strategic strategy in the region, serves destabilization policy. It is open. Attacks. Of course, it comes at a time of intensifying negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. It is meaningful. Israel, which is not subject to any inspection in its nuclear work, and does not care about anyone in terms of transparency. Parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. It is hypocrisy. The Netanyahu government, with its attacks on June 13th, has in fact aimed to undermine. It is also a sign that Netanyahu and his murder network are trying to prevent any issue from being resolved through diplomatic means. And what you don't want shows Israel again, based on 1967 borders, capital city, instead of living in peace side by side with an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem and geographical integrity, trying to spread the war to the whole region. See how exactly 90 years ago Hitler lit a spark in the Pacific. From the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic, if he set the whole world on fire all the way to the North Sea, today Netanyahu's Zionist ambitions, our region and the whole world will be plunged into a great catastrophe. Does not carry our first Qibla, the sanctity of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, hand outstretched, attempts to usurp the historical status of Jerusalem al-Sharif through various maps. The intentions to dismember our region should no longer be talked about in public. We see it as we are well aware of what Netanyahu wants to do. Zone on fire clash. Those who think that they will establish their security by plunging into chaos and tears of a crude dream. He is going after Israel by threatening the security of its neighbors, cannot ensure its own security. They will gradually see that the calculation at home does not fit the market. Israel's claim that it will establish order in our region with its bloody hands, what kind of blindness and darkness the rulers of this country are in, reveals as Turkey borders in our region. We will not allow the establishment of a new Sykes-Picot order to be drawn in blood. I emphasize, the people of Gaza, state and settler terrorism in the West Bank punished by starvation with Al-Aqsa Mosque, never captive to attempts to destroy the historical static of Jerusalem, the cradle of the Abrahamic religions. We will not stay. From here to the international community, I appeal once again, especially to the countries that have influence over Israel. Netanyahu's poison wrapped in the packaging of praise to further deepen the conflicts. Let no one pay any attention to his words. A new war in our region, and has no tolerance for instability. What we need, common sense, caution. Never fall into the blunder of covering up a wrong with a bigger wrong. Today, from here once again, he emphasizes that the solution lies in diplomacy and dialogue, including facilitation. I express that we are ready to do whatever we have to do. From June 13th until today, it's like we put our hearts on the line for the establishment of calm, very serious. We made an effort. God willing, until we get results, we will continue these contacts patiently. Dear ministers, dear friends, in these circumstances, achieving a two-state solution, it has become much more vital. More countries to recognize the state of Palestine. Incentivization must continue to obtain coercive action against Israel on the basis of international law and the United Nations Charter for measures to be taken in coordination. We must sustain to advance the two-state solution. It was scheduled to be held in New York this week, led by Saudi Arabia, but due to the recent attacks, we hope that the postponed international conference will be organized at the first opportunity. I wish Saudi Arabia success in this endeavor. Of course, here, I must also emphasize that between two brothers from the same mother, differences of opinion, divergence of ways and means possible. These are the natural facts of politics and diplomacy as well as life. But brother, it also means fated companion. The fate of Istanbul from the fate of Damascus, Baghdad's, Cairo's, Sana's destiny, Islamabad's, from the fate of Kabul to Tripoli to Tehran. It is not separate from the fate of Mecca and Medina, and of course from the fate of Jerusalem and Gaza. Turkish, Kurds, Arabs, Persians, Sunnis, Shiites, Alevis, Africans, Asians, and like the Qibla of Muslims with their Latin American and all other sects and origins, so is their destiny, partner. Each one of us, we say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. Our common cases in question. When we have common interests, we put differences aside, docking. We owe it to ourselves. Between us, let the differences in attitudes become a hindrance to us, especially in this critical period we are going through. We can't give. We have seen in the last period balances, politics, fragile relationships only go so far. At this meeting of our organization representing the voice and conscience of the Ummah, we openly declare our stance against Israel's policies that turn the whole region into a fireplace to the world public opinion. We need to spread the word today to hold each other tighter, to tighten our ranks even more, to further expand our boundaries of tolerance towards each other. We need our Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, issued the following commandment, especially in these days. We must be guided. 2, 3. Better than 3 out of 4. Alliance. Yes, in particular, we sincerely wish to reach the day when our Palestinian brothers and sisters will achieve national unity in their own affairs. Here today, like here, all of us mobilized for the Palestinian people. Among our brothers and sisters, fragmentation, seeing fragmentation, we want, it hurts. Wherever he is, dissociation, polarization, togetherness, transforming solidarity, the most intimate, our desire. Distinguished guests, in a multipolar world, 2 billion people in the Islamic world, it is essential to become a pole on its own. A period in which the Islamic world will play a much bigger role, but at the same time assume more responsibility. We are on the eve. Turkey's presidency of the Council of Foreign Ministers. The spiral of violence in our region is re-triggered by Israel. threatening stability and peace. It starts in an environment like Israel and Palestine, Syria. We must show more solidarity to stop their thuggery in Lebanon and Iran.